All right, we're gonna try this again, yo. I said we gonna try this again, y'all. Lil Kodak, they don't want to see you winning. They want to see you in the penitentiary. I'm about to go in here right quick. And yeah, I want any guy I want. I get it's crazy. I get it's crazy. I get it's crazy. I get it's crazy. All right, looks like I get it's crazy. I get it's crazy. All right, looks like I get it's crazy. I get it's crazy. All right, looks like I get it's crazy. I get it's crazy. All right, looks like right. Maybe I should send this link out, man, so you guys can hop on here because I got 0 viewers right now. You guys make me think you don't fuck with me or something. Like, nah. This is honestly last minute. I don't know how this is about to go. I'm about to try my best to make sure to do this, and maybe, just maybe, if I successfully pull off a live stream, I will try to do more of them. Let's say that. All right, link copied to clipboard. Time to go to Twitter. Go to Twitter. Yeah, I'm eating like a whole nigga in front of y'all. I don't care if I make damn. My, my aunt made shrimp Alfredo. Only thing is she cut up leftover steak and put it. That's the only thing I don't like. To me, beef shouldn't go with Alfredo. Personally, for me, I never really enjoyed. Hey, good looks, bro. Looks. Hold up. I gotta take this. Yeah, the name Cats and Karen Anna is pretty fucking hilarious though. I thought of it myself, guys. Don't give me too much credit, you know. Like, oh my god, But nah, that really is a fire name though. Like she deserves it, honestly. She finally blocked me, bro. I finally got my stripes, y'all, too. I know y'all saw me tweeting about that the other day. Now I'm not tweeting that to be a troll. I'm tweeting it because she blocked me for calling her out on substance, but making a joke about it, of course. But calling her out on substance, where if somebody was doing that to me, I'm going to hit them up in their DMs and be like, all right, bro, what problem do you have with what I'm saying right now? You feel me? She is a rag. She is. But it's like, I'm not going to mass block people unless you're like saying just wild shit, some crazy wild shit. I don't think me calling her Cats and Karen Anna is wild because she knows what she knows what it's in reference to. The fact that her rhetoric on homelessness sounds, a lot like the ideology her top donor was pushing on their fucking channel. But again, at the end of the day, I'm not trying to make it about me. I just like pointing shit out to people. Sometimes I'll do it through comedy. Sometimes I do it through serious things or other ways, whatever, Don't get mad at people and start like mass blocking people for calling you out on your bullshit. Same thing with Humanist Report. Motherfucker blocked me because I called him out on Nina Turner. I sent them a video, that video of Nina Turner saying, if you're mad at the squad right now for what they did, and this was during like the tail end of Force to Vote when he interviewed her. I think this was around when she first announced she was going to run for that seat. And the Humanist Report was interviewing her. She said that if you're mad at the squad right now for what they did and didn't do, you're going to be disappointed with me too. And literally, I clipped that video out. I took that video because I had it saved because I think I used it in a previous video or something like that. And I literally sent it to him. I was like, "Yep, such an inspiring candidate," and he blocked me. That's some pussy ass shit, dog. That is some bitch. That's why I call these people the bitch made leftists, dog. Real talk. Like that's definitely like I'm obviously going to take credit for Cats and Karen Anna, but I'm also I'm taking credit for bitch made leftists because I think that's eventually going to pop off, especially with people that's not afraid to call people out of their name. Like it's fucking ridiculous. Like why are you like blocking people? And no, you have the right to block people, but don't ever like talk about right wingers that do this shit because they don't like. As far as I know, they don't be blocking people. Candace Owens responds to people that be coming at her. Even people that be coming at her crazy. She responds to them. I don't know if she blocks them. She probably does. She probably does block people, but you don't see them blocking people in mass like leftists are, man. And I am going to be coming at Republicans today, specifically Ron DeSantis, because that motherfucker is off his rocker, bro. I've never seen the Republican Party has turned into such snowflakes now. It's so fucking ridiculous. And they've always kind of been snowflakes. But the fact and I'm specifically talking about the last couple of bills he signed, that speech, that free speech bill or whatever, the anti-protesting bill, the anti-BDS bill. He's going at Ben and Jerry's right now on behalf of Israel. So I'm gonna be talking about that as well. But yeah, man, it's just a lot of crazy shit going on. Well, not crazy shit, but shit we saw coming going on. People that like are in the know and aren't, so tuned into electoral politics like a lot of people are, which is, I don't get how you do that. It's so like that's just fucking weird to me, man. Like it's really weird. But let's go ahead and get into this Anna Kasparian story. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let's rock out with this, John. All right, guys. To those of you who have been with me before on here, I suck at streaming, which is why I usually never do it. But I was watching Franco's stream about the Anna situation, and that pissed me off. I was like, man, fuck it, I'm about to live stream. I was buck and shit. Now, no, this was like an hour ago. Literally took me an hour to get this fucking stream set up. So I'm sitting here, by the time then, I'm sitting here eating this shit like, yeah, I'm about to go at Anna Kasparian. And then I'm talking to y'all now. But so definitely like hop in the comments. I'm going to be going back and forth, checking the comments. I'm going to start off playing the video and let me know if you guys can hear it. Whoa, what is that? See, there we go. There we go already. What is that? Boom. That's more like it. That's more like it. No, I didn't mean to do that. See, man, look at that. I'm trash. Fuck it. Let's rock out. Let's get it. No, actually, I'm gonna take this out. Yeah, remove the image, and I'm gonna make this full screen. All right, let's get into it and rock out. Let's hope I get this right.
Of Americans.
Right.
So this is a big deal.
I'm playing it right now.
What Cori Bush did was,
I just played it. Hop in the comments, let me know. Hop in the comments and let me know if y'all heard that, John. Black in the Empire was good, man. Yeah, I do got a channel, bro. Glad you're here, man. I'm glad you're here. All right, y'all heard it, bet. All right, let's go ahead and rock out, man. Because this is some bullshit.
Incredibly important in ensuring that people will be able to stay in their homes for the next 2 months as the $46 billion in congressionally appropriated rental relief is given out by state governors.
So let's run that back. Let's run that back right there.
With extending the eviction moratorium for 2 months, 60 days to be exact. The new eviction.
So it's going to spare people from getting evicted from their homes for another 2 months. So like me and a lot of people were saying, why not hold out for something more, you know, for how about cancellation? There were even some activists, Max Blumenthal. Let me go to his Twitter real quick. I was actually just on his Twitter, but he was talking about this. He interviewed this one girl. I think she's one of the people from Fred Hampton leftist, if I'm not mistaken. And we're going to be covering Max more because she like just goes on this tirade attacking Max. But yeah, here it is. She
asked her a bunch of different questions about like the organizing strategy on the ground.
I thought this was perfect.
Like how we're actually going to get some of our progressive policies pushed through, considering that most of them are at 67% approval nationally. Like what is the steps forward? And she had basically told me that, number one, she said that she was like, she might leave Congress and go be a grassroots organizer again.
So that's that. I think she's talking about AOC right here. That's very telling to now. Like maybe she should get out, but that's not what I was wanted to highlight.
Seem like much change might come out of that because we don't want to piss off any sports society.
And you said she brought up force the vote on her own.
Yeah, look, that was I think she mentioned that she has reviewed the Fred Hampton leftist podcast, and then you mentioned that you have been critical of her, but even obviously here. So, but then she was talking about some of the criticisms of that being that it was like the day before, as well as something about the National Nurses Union not being on board with that. That was her explanation.
I do want to fact check that.
Yeah, I mean there was a town hall like well before, as well as a lot.
I've heard that talking point before myself.
Yeah, no, she said something about the timeline because there was that force the vote protest that had come here the day before the speaker's vote. And she said that they didn't know anything about force the vote until before then. I do need to fact check the timeline, but I'm pretty sure that Justin Jackson and all of them were talking about that way before.
Yeah, there was discussion in advance.
Yeah, that wasn't my bad, y'all. My bad, y'all. That was something different. I think this is it.
More people from the grassroots.
Here we go. Yeah, this is it.
Come out.
This is it.
I think
the grassroots activist world to come out.
I think that the demands would be more aggressive, and we shouldn't be asking for an extension to the moratorium. We should be asking for canceling rent.
That was the original protest at the beginning of the pandemic.
And Max talks about this. They did a whole like a car caravan and everything, protesting for rent cancellation, because that should be what you guys are pushing for. You should not be pushing for something that already wasn't good enough. People were like, I know people. I've known stories of people, you know, getting evicted during the quote unquote moratorium. So it's like, what the fuck? Like this already wasn't working. We were seeing stories back to back to back. I know scrolling through just on my Twitter timeline, you know, about people getting evicted, like seeing news stories about mass evictions, police going from door to door, police officers going from door to door evicting people. So why not push? Like, why push for something that has already been proven not to work? And is my question.
We did a car caravan around that with PSL, and it was cancel the rent.
So I just think that having more grassroots voices out here, having more radical voices out here, more people that aren't scared of the Democratic establishment out
here, and people that are going to push AOC in the squad
here to kind of push them farther to the left will be very helpful. They're all out here. They're very accessible. Like, you can talk to them, and they do listen to what the hell you have to say.
And unless you ask the wrong question, which I did, but yeah.
So I thought that point she made was extremely good, and it debunks what Anna just said. So literally, within that itself, like Anna's talking about like, oh, you know, we pushed the rents. They pushed the rents back to it's too much. So they kicked the can down the road then, right? Okay. Why are we so let's say hypothetically. So let's say, all right, fine, we'll praise you for the 2 weeks. Why can't we stay out there to push for more, to push for cancellation? Why are we, you know, folding shit up and going home? Because now they're kicking people like, and I'm going to get to that. They're kicking people off the Capitol now and making them like be across the street and shit. I'm going to get into that, but let's continue with this bullshit she's talking right now.
Eviction moratorium will cover 90% of Americans, so this is a big deal. What Cori Bush did was incredibly important.
That's big facts. I'm looking down because I'm monitoring the chat from my phone, but who said this? New Soul, you're 100% right. The minimum wage should be over $20 an hour, not 15. That's some bullshit. I definitely agree with you, bro. 100%.
Ensuring that people will be able to stay in their homes for the next 2 months as the $46 billion in congressionally appropriated rental relief is given out by state governors. Now, the Biden administration, again, has issued a new 2-month moratorium on evictions covering much of the country after facing.
So she's talking about it covers much of the country. Again, I'm going to go here, and I think this is the same girl, if I'm not mistaken. This is Red as Ari. I believe that's her name. I think I've seen her before on Fred Hampton Leftist. So, but I found what she said very interesting. Again.
That's where we need to start the conversation. To start the conversation at financial aid. People needed checks. That's where we need to start the conversation. Y'all started, and you know, there is like this state money that they have to give the states for rent assistance. But even then, it's like that does not cover everybody that's already been evicted, because 80,000 evictions were filed in Atlanta alone. 80,000 evictions were filed in Atlanta alone. And guess what? Atlanta is not one of the places that gets covered by the eviction moratorium.
So again, it's crazy that Anna's pointing this out when this shit is easily debunkable by just reading by following this shit and understanding what's going on. Like she's doing it, Ari's doing it, and I'll fuck with Sabby having her on to talk about this. Now this is off of Colin Radix Carter. This is off his Twitter, because I'm going to be covering more from his feed that he put out that I was really fucking with too.
Intense pressure from progressive lawmakers led by Congressmember Cori Bush. On Friday night, Democratic Congressmember Cori Bush, who was once unhoused herself, began camping out on the steps of the Capitol in protest. She stayed on the steps till Tuesday's announcement. So 4 nights straight. She's there.
So she stayed out there 4 nights straight and basically got a reduced version of the moratorium, because it's a targeted eviction moratorium. So she got a reduced version of it. So she did all that protesting to get less than what was before. And what was before was already not working. Huh? That's a victory to you? Raggy? What? Let's continue.
She's putting in the work.
She's putting in the work she should have put in months ago. Why wasn't this being organized months ago? Why didn't they organize this in coordination with the March for Medicare for All? They would have gladly welcomed them in and marched on behalf of that. Cori Bush was there. Why didn't Cori Bush bring this up when she was at the march, instead of shitting on the whole ideology behind the march, which is forcing them to do their fucking jobs? But instead, she goes there and basically shits all over the ideology of the march. Shouts out to Kobe for pointing that shit out. So it's like they're there for photo ops and shit. That's what that was about.
That inspired others to join her. People like...
And don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me and people like us for calling that out. Don't get mad at us. This is from Helen Stanford. What kills me is how surprised these representatives were about the moratorium ending when it's been in the media for days and days. Exactly. And just common sense. They claim to care about people like they do and keep their ear to the ground and the needs of their constituents. People were talking about this shit for months.
like Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez showed up to
take photo ops, to motivate her base to donate more fucking money to her so she can't do anything. They also started running fundraisers after this as well. Cori Bush is out here sending text messages for people to for money. The poor people she was just advocating for, she's begging them for money now.
And give props to not just Cori Bush, but the other protesters who were there. Other members of Congress also showed up. So this was an example of political theater working.
So this is her example of political theater working. This is her example of political theater working. A bunch of Congress people and a lot of their aides and a bunch of college students that don't know their ass from a hole in the ground. And that's no offense to college students. I'm pretty much a college student, but I'm not that type of I'm not a sleepaway college student, but like and not that's not to Congress, you know, to college students that don't know what's going on, but them people at that Capitol didn't know what's going on. When Max Blumenthal was going off on Adam Schiff, they was looking at him like he was crazy because they couldn't make the correlation between how much money we spend on fucking war and how that money can be used to house the people you're out there for, and why you shouldn't be welcoming Adam Schiff there to take fucking photo ops. Exactly. So So Black in the Empire just said, Bush said they sent letters out a month ago. Then they act like they just found out. Exactly right. So one of those things is a lie, or both of them. Like those are the only three options. Let me know if I'm missing an option. But Black in the Empire is 100% right, bro. And that's what it is. And it's like, it's black people that's going to be affected by this a lot more so than white people, for real. And that's not to downgrade white people's suffering, but you know, a lot of the communities that are being ignored are black communities. And these people are going to be evicted and thrown out on the fucking streets.
Because politics is, yes, about legislating. It's about
so here she goes talking down to people again. This is why people, and honestly, for real, this is why, like, and I'm not bringing this up to stoke the online YouTuber war. That's not what I'm doing. I'm bringing it up because I've had experience with this. The reason why people, when I'm talking to more conservative leaning friends or apolitical people, I can't play this bullshit. I can't play Majority Report for them or fucking TYT. I can't play this bullshit for them. Because these are the type of people and the type of attitudes and mentality that force people out of either away or out of politics or leaning right. This shit right here, just talking down to people like, you know better than me, that's fucking living this shit. This is why right here. And they can't get that through their fucking brains. And they just want to run it, you know, do like shit, basically shit on working. So now she's been punching left, like, she just got called out for shitting on homeless people out, and that's where she got her name Katzen Karen Anna from. For me, you just got finished shitting on homeless people on behalf of your fucking millionaire donor, multi-millionaire donor or billionaire donor, and now you're shitting on activists because they're calling out Cori Bush on her bullshit. Again, why didn't Cori Bush bring this up when she was at the March for Medicare for All?
Legislative maneuvering, there's no question about it. But political theater plays a role as well. The question is the political theater strategic, and who is impacted the most by the political theater? In this case, it's incredibly embarrassing for the Biden administration to have members of his own party calling him out and demanding more on the steps of the US Capitol.
Cori Bush did not, she was not, that was one of the, so here we go. This is what Max Blumenthal brought up to her. Anna says that Max Blumenthal was harassing them. This is what Max Blumenthal brought up to her. Let me find this joint. Give me 1 second, y'all. Oh, I'm gonna find this joint. Because this had me heated. This lets me know she didn't even watch his videos that he posted. Where's it at? And then since I think this is it.
And I heard, like, last night there was a lot less people. It's great to see so many more people, but I heard there was an intense debate about the role of the squad and why the squad didn't leverage its vote for the speaker.
Exactly. FL, political theater like Russiagate that Sam Cedar and TYT constantly push. Yes, they did. TYT pushed that. Majority Report pushed that. Majority Report pushed it in a way that was like, they tried to play it off like, well, technically we didn't push it because Sam Cedar's little Weasley ass, they was pushing that shit. Literally. And this is kind of what Max was talking about in this one live stream. So they did this one live stream a while ago. I covered it. This is the live stream where he finally just went full on like, fuck this shit, and called out AOC, TYT, all of these people. But one of the points he brought up is we're literally debunking this shit, only to have, as soon as we post our articles writing about how, pointing out, showing this evidence on how Russia was bullshit, or this evidence on how the Syrian gas attacks are bullshit, so on and so forth. Just keep going to Uyghur genocide shit, whatever it is. We're presenting evidence, and these people are responding back to our as leftist so-called progressives, arguing back against us with State Department talking points as if they're MSNBC. So again, this is why you can't take people like this seriously. And I don't know why people do take these people seriously. Hang on one second. This whole thing was a face-saving measure by Democrats extending the moratorium. Wouldn't have passed the Democratic-controlled House and wouldn't have made it past a filibuster. Exactly. One person I watch on Young Turks said these freshman reps don't have the political clout yet to make such a challenge. Wow.
For Medicare for all vote.
Look at her face. She was so mad for him asking this question too.
And why the squad? I mean, with the margin so narrow in Congress, why the squad didn't,
yes, because
leverage its vote on the stimulus to get a $15.
She was so mad, dog. That's that face, bro. The reason how I know that shit, because my mama used to make the same type of face when I would do some dumb shit, and she wasn't trying to snap on me. But except here, Max Blumenthal isn't doing dumb shit. He's calling her the fuck out. That's what he's doing right now. She doesn't like it. She's mad about it.
Minimum wage, what?
No. So first, one thing that was said last night, which is something that's very true, and I wish we would have talked about that this was where your conversation was going.
So you wish you would have got pre-approved questions from a fucking journalist so you didn't get challenged. That's what she just said.
Because we're talking about the rally for tonight, and I really would love to keep the conversation on what's happening.
I feel like it's all related to healthcare and the.
Yeah, because a bunch of people getting kicked out of their houses during a pandemic, and we're not talking about healthcare either on top of homelessness. Why can't we talk about both?
Absolutely is, but this is the thing. What was said last night is that this bill,
and they're bringing it up because they know you're not going to actually fight for this shit. They know that this is theater. You haven't said Joe Biden's name. You haven't called him out.
Care for all is not. No, there's no person on the squad whose bill that is. That is Bernie Sanders' bill.
So I don't think this is the one where. There was one where Max was pushing back on her for not calling out Biden. Let me find that joint. Because I found it was so telling that she didn't do this. Damn, I guess it's not up no more. Dang it. Yeah, I'm not seeing it on here. But there was at one point he asked her about why she wasn't calling Biden out by name, and she's like, "No, we're not here to do that. This, that, and the third." I'm like, that's exactly what you're here to do. You're here to get powerful people, more powerful than you, to do this thing. Now, I have an idea for what they could have done, but we'll get to that in a minute.
He wanted it to end. He wanted it to end as soon as humanly possible. And so that's why he extended this moratorium. Now, I give you that context because it's important to understand just what Cori Bush did, but more importantly, how egregious it is that throughout her time sleeping out on the Capitol steps, she was being endlessly harassed by the same people who refused to let go of the force the vote nonsense from literally 8 months ago. A political tactic that is now, more importantly, how egregious it is that through moratorium. Now, I give you that context because it's important to understand just what Cori Bush did, but more importantly, how egregious it is that throughout her time sleeping out on the Capitol steps, she was being endlessly harassed by the same people who refused to let go of the force the vote nonsense
Forced to vote nonsense. So let me translate that for Anna. Cori Bush was asked questions by independent citizen journalists and independent journalists like Max Blumenthal and Franco and others. She was asked questions on what is she actually going to do to challenge power to get the things that she claims to care about, that she claims that she cares about. That's what Anna's defending Cori Bush on right now. Independent journalists and citizen journalists and citizens asking, when are you going to challenge the Democratic establishment? That's what Anna's upset about right now with people. Keep that in mind. That's what she's upset about. She's upset that somebody's challenging, this politician at the end of it. Now, I want to preface this by saying that I grew up in a household where I was told from as long as I can remember, you don't trust a politician as far as you could throw them. The first politician I saw my family, my grandfather, my mother, my grandmother, and my aunt. The first politician I ever saw them throw all of that out the window for. And actually, I'll take my mom out of that because my mom was very skeptical of Obama, but she was skeptical of him because my mom was a Hillary supporter. That's a whole nother story. Oh my God, it's a whole nother story. But but regardless, they threw all of that out of the window for Obama. And I was indoctrinated into the cult of Barack Obama as a young black boy. So, so the fact that she's saying this, like, I'm sitting here like, you're not supposed to like be worshiping politicians like this, right? But then on top of it, there's like just evidence. It's very clear that this is political theater to save face from their failures. And you're defending this? And again, like I said earlier, she literally got less than what was already before. The moratorium now is worse than the one that was already in place, and the one that was already in place was already trash.
From literally 8 months ago, a political tactic.
8 months ago, where there was a march for it, it's been 2 weeks now since the march. So, yeah, I think it's been like 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, 50 city march, hundreds of people showed up. Cori Bush herself showed up, the one. But Cori Bush showed up espousing the same sentiments that you did. It's nonsense. It's not real. It's just online theater. Tell that to all of the people who sent videos in talking about their healthcare problems that they're having. Tell that to those people. She sits here and calls it nonsense. Again, this is why people don't take the Young Turks seriously and shit on them on a daily basis.
That is now completely irrelevant. The political tactic was...
So she's saying forcing a vote on Medicare for all is irrelevant. That's what she's saying right now.
Supposed to be this pressure among progressive lawmakers to hold their vote, refuse to vote in favor of Nancy Pelosi as Speaker of the House until she promises to bring Medicare for all to a House vote, to a House floor vote.
Yeah, Helen Stanford. Yeah, my illusion. But see, it's different. So like, especially for black people, like especially for black people. Hang on one second. Yes, I don't want that shit. That's some spyware shit. They trying to get your boy, man. They out here trying to get your boy. It's like, nah. But but Helen Stanford, yeah. I definitely hear you. I definitely hear you and feel you, but it's different when you're black, man. Especially young. Like I was like 2008. I think I was like 8 or 9, maybe 10 when Obama won. I think so. I was around that age. So like I'm being told by my grandfather, like, you need to look up to him. This is like, man, like I just remember my grandfather had tears in his eyes the night Obama won. So it's different. It's like it was different level indoctrination for black people. I don't know if you're black. I'm not trying to speak for you or anything or speak against you, but what I'm saying is like for me, and seeing a black dude become president when you learn certain shit about black people in this country. Okay, yeah. But it's cool though. But what I'm saying is like, yeah. It's like it was different level indoctrination. It was like literally when you would walk into school, the teachers, like even if teachers didn't like Obama, they were like, give it up. I remember this one white girl. I'm not going to say her government on here, but I still remember her name to this day. Because after I found out the truth about Obama, I remember everything she fucking said. I remember everything she said. She said he's a Trojan horse for the establishment, or she said something like that. Because I remember asking, I was like, well, what does that even mean? Do you even know what that? Because you're like 8, 9, 10 or some shit like that. I'm like, she's like, my parents told me that, this, that, and the third. And I remember calling her a racist when I was a kid. I was like, well, you just don't like black people. And we got into a whole argument. I'll never forget that shit. And literally now, looking back at it now, Jesus fucking Christ, that little white girl was right, man. And I wish I could see her now to tell her, damn, he was right. She probably won't even remember. I tend to remember shit from long ago. That's just how I am. I don't know why, especially shit that, like, when I reflect upon certain things, you know. But yeah, Obama was different level indoctrination for me. When I got into the AOC, I was never in like the squad cult, like the AOC cult and shit like that. Cause like, as I don't know if a lot of y'all know, but I used to be a Trump supporter. I wasn't like the MAGA hat wearing Trump supporter. I liked him because of specific things. I liked him because of China, his stances on China. He was super hardcore on China, which I've, as a lot of you know from my channel, I've completely flipped my, changed my tune on China. I liked him because he was going at the Democrats and but not in the traditional Republican way. He was calling them out on actual substance most of the time. Most of the time he was. I liked him because he was calling out the Republican establishment when he looked Jeb Bush in his face and told him the World Trade Center went down under your brother. He said that at the Republican convention. Like, I feel like people didn't understand how fucking big that was. That was the point. I feel like that was the point where, like, he became Teflon, in my opinion, because he said that shit at the Republican convention. But yeah, so I like Trump for a myriad of reasons. But then I found out those reasons the things I liked about him was more of his progressive left-leaning values. Like Donald Trump was talking about single-payer healthcare. People forget that shit. This motherfucker, even while he was president, he was going to Australia, oh, your healthcare system is so I liked him for things like that. But then I realized the things I liked him for, was more for left-leaning things that I wish he would have went further on. So that's how I got into like the whole AOC squad, Bernie camp and shit like that. And I never really liked Bernie because I always saw the cuckish vibe. I got the cuckish bitch ass vibes from him. But I'm like, all right, maybe if he got this movement behind him, they'll push him. I was obviously wrong about that too. I was like, I'll throw my vote behind him. And then obviously what went down in 2016 or later on in 2020, because I actually voted for the first time in 2020. I made a video about it on the channel, but ended up voting green. But basically I saw it through Bernie, and then the squad started doing their fuckery. Like I kind of saw it was more the imperialism things for me with AOC. Like when she was like, yeah. Never had a opponent. I'm learning of his cries of fake news. Exactly. Fake news. And he was funny as shit too, man. Trump was hilarious, bro. Just that, like, literally what got me was when it was Megyn Kelly, and she was asking him, she's like, Donald Trump, you've been accused of calling women you don't like, ugly, stupid, fat pigs, dogs. What do you have to say about that? This motherfucker looked in the camera. He said, Annie Rosie Adama. I'm like, oh my God, bro. What the fuck? And it was when we realized America is so shitty. This is going to probably be our president, and we kind of deserve it. I was like, oh my God, no. And then like the cherry on top for me, it was towards the end of his first term, of Trump's first term. This motherfucker was at like a climate we're gonna get back to this. I know I like, if I start streaming more, my mind, my fucking mind goes everywhere. But he was at like a climate conference or some shit, and this scientist is going off on him like, Donald Trump, the planet's heating up. We need to be taking action on this. California's on fire. We need to be working on X, Y, and Z. This, that, and the third. You need to step up and do the right thing. This motherfucker was sitting here like this. He was like, it'll get cooler. Just you watch. Bro, and everybody in the room just realized, oh, he's actually an idiot. And everybody in the room just started laughing at him, bro. It was like, yo. And it's like in that moment, I feel like he knew what it was, that I'm a joke and I'm just going to own that shit and just flame the shit out of everybody that comes my way regardless. And that's obviously destructive type behavior. Like, it should be like a controlled roasting. Like if Bernie were to take aspects of Trump where Trump was just roasting people, and Bernie would have applied that to like Biden and shit like that, You know, it would have been great, but I'm glad he didn't do that. I'm glad he didn't do that. And the reason why I say I'm glad he didn't do it is because you want people to show you who they truly are, especially a fucking politician before you vote for them. Because they're never going to fucking do shit for you. Understand that. A politician, in the way politics in America are structured, they are never going to do shit for you. I was just reading an article about how Xi Jinping, this motherfucker literally just collapsed the stock market to get rid of the private capital and their tutoring education system, their private education system. He said it was getting too focused on capital. So this motherfucker literally tanked. I gotta read the article. I'll probably cover it another day. Politician. Oh, it's buffering. Can y'all still see me and hear me? Give me a thumbs up if y'all can. I know I've been going off topic a lot. Let me go back to my stream. See what's goody. Bro, yes. He sounded like a mob boss when he said that too. Black in the Empire. This motherfucker said, he said, what? You think we all innocent? We all kill people, okay? We kill. Motherfucker sound like a mob boss or some shit. Now look, I've always heard, even before Trump ran for president, I always heard he was mobbed up. Definitely, I've always heard that shit. So, but I've heard different things. I heard different things about Putin. I think I'm gonna have somebody, like, I'm trying to have more guests on the show. I might announce it tomorrow, but I have a special guest that's going to be coming on soon, and I'm excited about it. It's going to be dope. Okay, it's fine. Good. But it's going to be a guest coming on. He's going to be dope. He's going to be, well, you know, it's a he now, but it's going to be fire. So just stay tuned for it. But let's go ahead and rock back into this Anna experience, because I got way off topic.
Vote, I should say. Now, the squad, progressive Democrats, decided.
I think she meant squat, because that's all they get for their constituents. It's squat.
That they didn't want to use their political capital on that, because of a number of different reasons. They were using their political capital for committee seats. They were using their political capital for carve-outs when it comes to PAYGO.
PAYGO, which, oh my God.
And they also knew that
even I think Ryan Grimm even debunked that bullshit. Ryan Grimm debunked it before he had to flip sides. I'm pretty sure he debunked it. No, it was either Ryan Grimm or David Sirota. I forget which one it was, or both. I think it was both of them, because they were both debunking that bullshit, that PAYGO committee seats. Fuck out. AOC got removed from a committee seat by a candidate. A candidate replaced her that threatened to force the vote in the past, and Nancy Pelosi didn't want that to happen again. So please miss me with that bullshit. I can't wait. I'm working on trying to get this new mixer. It's been hard because I've been out of a job. I finally got a new job, guys. Finally. But finally got a new job. But I'm trying to get this mixer where they have like sound effects on it and shit like that. And when I'm doing a live stream, I could be doing sound effects and shit too. I'm gonna get the Kendrick Lamar "Miss Me With That Bullshit. You ain't really wild, you a tourist" from that one joint. That's gonna be a joint. I actually have a segment that's gonna be premiering tomorrow called "Fuck You," and it's gonna be dope. I don't want to spoil it for y'all, but yeah, people are still talking about PAYGO, Black in the Empire. Yes, they are. But yeah, so I can't wait till I get that mixer, dog, because they got sound effects and shit on it. Dog, it's gonna be wild. But yeah, miss me with that bullshit. And catching the Karen Kasparian.
Using their political capital for a floor vote that was going to fail, meaning that they would not get Medicare for all, just wasn't worth it. And ever since they made that decision, they have been hounded and harassed by people who in different contexts didn't really seem to care too much about Medicare for all. People like Jimmy Dore, for instance, who supported Tulsi Gabbard in the last Democratic primary in 2020. Tulsi Gabbard wasn't in favor of Medicare for all, but he was
wrong. Tulsi Gabbard was in favor of Medicare for all. Continuing.
Totally.
Tulsi Gabbard gave up her seat in 2016 so she could go out and vehemently support Bernie Sanders, okay? Tulsi Gabbard, continuing, and it's fuck Tulsi right now, because of Tulsi with that Biden shit. It's fuck Tulsi for me right now. But y'all, like, I'm not gonna sit here and let her lie on that woman like that. Tulsi Gabbard was defending Bernie from Russiagate while you asshats were pushing it, and Bernie Sanders was Russiagating himself. Tulsi was defending him. Tulsi got called a useful idiot by for Russia by Hillary Clinton for defending Bernie. So please, Anna Kasparian, get all the way the fuck out of here with that bullshit, with that nonsense. hounded and harassed. Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. What's AOC's position on Modi? Oh, fuck out. Anytime people bring up Tulsi now, ask them that. What's AOC's position on Modi? What's Cori Bush's position on Modi? Anytime they bring up Tulsi Gabbard, just ask them that, just to troll the fuck out of them. Because that was just a lie, a blatant lie, what she just said. Didn't Tulsi Gabbard have her own Medicare for All bill? And even Jimmy said, Jimmy criticized her because he favored Bernie's bill more. So what are you talking about?
Fine with that. Now he's pretending like Medicare for All is the only policy that matters. So much.
So you know what happened? You know what happened between between then and now? A deadly fucking pandemic where millions of people, I think I forgot what the exact number is, but millions of people lost their fucking health care during this pandemic. I believe that would change his mind and make it more of a dominant issue. Anna.
So that it warrants
no, I'm not doing this because when Cenk Uygur was doing this little bullshit forced to vote for the $15 minimum wage and all that shit. Like, okay, let's see. Got a pandemic going on and you have, basically people getting evicted from their homes during a fucking pandemic. Should we really be fighting for a $15 minimum wage? You can do that all day. I'm not going to shit on him for it because if he's going to fight for it, I'm down to fight with you for it. So stop doing this semantics bullshit, this like strawmanning bullshit.
But is in cahoots with the whole force the vote movement, essentially harassing Cori Bush. He put out a short video of his interaction with her. Here's how it went.
I heard there was an intense debate about the role of the squad and why the squad didn't leverage its vote for the speaker for Medicare for All vote, and why the squad, with the margin so narrow in Congress, why the squad didn't because leverage its vote on the stimulus to get a $15 minimum wage.
So she started answering.
So that's what interesting. Play the whole video. So hold up, run that back.
Squad and why the squad didn't leverage its vote for the
so speaker. I like how she plays the video where Cori Bush gets like mad and disgusted at Max Blumenthal. How dare you poor pleb journalist ask me a question? So she plays that part, but she doesn't play the part where Cori Bush is fumbling over her words to make this make sense, to the point where she had to get her fucking assistant or whatever, her campaign, whatever, her chief of staff, whoever the fuck that is, to come in and basically like yeet Max from asking her a question, to like yeet him the fuck out of here from asking her a question. Huh? What? For Medicare for All vote, and why the squad, with the margin so narrow in Congress, why the squad didn't because leverage its vote on the stimulus to get a $15 minimum wage. Play the whole video.
So she started answering the question, and at some point one of her staffers or someone.
Yeah, the point after Cori Bush said, we can't fight for Medicare for All in the House because that's not our bill. That's Pramila Jayapal's bill. Pramila Jayapal, who just said we shouldn't be fighting for Medicare for All right now. This is Bernie Sanders' bill, who didn't utter a fucking word when 50 people, when there was a 50-city march for his, flagship policy. Sounds a lot like none of y'all actually want to fight for this. It sounds like none of y'all actually want to go down to the mat with the Democratic Party to actually fight for this. That's what that's starting to sound like.
Who knows her got involved and kind of whisked her away, and that led to
her campaign manager saved her from a hard question from a journalist. If this was fucking Tom Cotton or Mitt Romney or Josh Hawley, they would be chomping at the bits, hopping on this, coming at him. But because it's somebody they like versus a journalist that they don't like now, a journalist who does amazing fucking work now, it's different. Okay. But if this is Josh Hawley, y'all know, and we all know, best believe they would have been trashing him for this if Josh Hawley was in this same type of situation.
To all this backlash among some components of the so-called left on Twitter. Oh my God.
The so-called left. You mean the poor working class people that aren't on YouTube? Some of them are on YouTube, Dontel makes this point on his channel. Unapologetic is a dope channel. Definitely go check him out. But he makes this point. He made the point like people like these literally YouTubers are criticizing other people from voicing criticisms of politics on the internet. That is literally what you guys make your bread and butter on. Literally. And now you make your bread and butter by doing access journalism for these politicians. You went from being, so you're not, in a sense, you're not independent media anymore because you're kowtowing to these two politicians for access. And they still don't come on your fucking shows unless they need something from you. It's fucking sad, really.
God, she doesn't serve the best interest. She's there in an effort.
Exactly. Max is very respectful. Now she's gonna play a video. I actually big them up for this because I feel like you need to exert the type of energy, and y'all know exactly what video I'm talking about. You need to exert, in my opinion, exert that type of energy when people seem to not be getting it through their fucking heads.
Effort to prevent people from getting evicted from their homes. How about focus on the topic at hand instead of focusing on a failed nonsense strategy from literally 8 months ago?
So forcing the vote on Medicare for all, which even Sam Cedar himself agreed with until he found out Jimmy Dore was pushing the idea. Everybody, your fucking boss agreed to this strategy. Cenk Uygur did. Until mysteriously, ironically, when he established, that's when he was like, oh no, it's kind of a bad idea. Guys are suckers. But like, so force the vote is a nonsense idea, but sleeping on the Capitol, outside of the Capitol for 4 days, to reinstate the eviction moratorium, only to get a far less effective eviction moratorium than the one before, and the one before was already trash, is not nonsensical. Wow, Jesus Christ, up and down.
And the reason why I say it's a nonsense strategy is
right
because
now.
it's irrelevant now. It's irrelevant now. Nancy Pelosi is Speaker of the House. You guys push for something, they didn't do it.
Exactly. So Allison D said, Corey agreed with Max that the issue was related to healthcare. She said my local news reporters are more aggressive than Max was. Exactly. Keith Plum says, leave it to Anna to show us a video of politely asked questions. Look at that face. Oh my God, man. It's like, she said, Karen Vision attack. Look at them eyes, man. By the way, I'm about to go on another side tangent again. I'm sorry, guys. That Karen movie looks so fucking hilarious, dog. I might do like a trailer breakdown on the channel about that. That shit looks so hilarious. And by the way, let me know in the comments. Y'all want to start seeing, like, I know it's a lot of important issues going on. I'm not trying to turn the channel into like an entertainment channel. I actually have a completely separate channel for that type of stuff. But I might do a breakdown because I want to start posting more fun stuff on here. Like, I'm about to start doing like comedy skits with my homies and everything, just about politics and shit, because they said they're all down for creative shit. So let me know if y'all want to see more of that stuff. But like, literally, like, I'm thinking about doing a breakdown of that Karen trailer, because that shit was so hilarious, bro. I remember like the first time I was watching it, I was literally stopping it, pausing it, like, why did I do that? Like commenting and shit like that. I thought it was so hilarious. That shit looks so fucking hilarious. It looks dumb as shit. It looks dumb as fuck. It literally looks like somebody trying to like copy and paste the formula of like Get Out and shit like that, and like apply it to the Karen thing. And they're trying to fucking what's the word? They're pandering. They're pandering to the white liberal audience and the the mainstreamed Black Lives Matter folks. They're trying to appeal to those people. But man, that shit looks hilarious. I love comedy skits too. I grew up on the Chappelle Show. But I just find that, I find this hilarious that Anna's like saying this shit right now.
So are we just gonna focus on that for the rest of these women's political careers?
The reason why it's so important, and Max highlights this in the Adam, when he confronts Adam Schiff, all of these things tie in together. They repeatedly, like, they allowed the funding of the Capitol Police after a whole year of screaming defund the police. So when it comes to police, to protect them, they're all for funding it. Now, my personal opinions on defund the police and fund the police, it's kind of varied, it's kind of mixed. I go back and forth. Because when I see a cop killing a black kid, killing somebody that look like me, or beating the shit out of me, or beating the shit out of somebody that looks like me, I can't help but think that could have been me in a certain scenario. I just happen to live in the suburbs, which is why I don't have bad encounters like cops. But even I've heard from some of my homies that have, that because we live in like a more suburban area and shit like that. and I actually live in Delaware. I live in Joe Biden's home state. But I've had homies that have told me, like, in the fucking suburbs about fucking shit they've been through with the cops here. Then on the other hand, like, I know homies, you know, I grew up with friends whose dads were cops, both black and white. So that's why when I was more conservative leaning, I would hear people talk about cops and I would think about my homie's friend. But then I watched, you know, they like to say Jimmy Dore is like this unhinged maniac for secret closeted right-wing dudes. Yet how many videos has Jimmy done about police? Jimmy Dore is the person that opened my eyes more about the police. And he broke it down this way. He said when a cop comes home to his family and they're a completely different person than who the fuck they are when they go out there with random people that they've been taught to be these extremely hyper-violent, bad, thuggish people. They're thugs, they're criminals. So they're gonna act completely differently. And then the ones that are secretly racist, that's gonna come out when they're policing. So it's like, I saw it from that perspective. I was like, oh shit. Like that's honestly what a lot of my, and I know I'm going on another tangent, but that's what a lot of my political awakening has been. It's been unlearning a lot of the shit that was taught to me. And it's crazy. Like, again, like I said, I feel like police is a perfect example of me, but a more perfect example for me is China. I think I might do like a whole stream about China. I'm gonna have a couple people on about China. I'm trying to get Danny Haifong on the show. I want him on the show so bad, man. I fucking love Danny's work, man. Trying to get him on the show soon, but I want to do more videos about China. And the reason why I hyper focus on China is because I feel like there's aspects of what they do and how they keep the empire, the American empire, in check. Now, I know that they're a country with their own power and shit like that, but I feel like there's something there that we can be looking at and kind of adapting some aspects of them. But regardless, the whole point that I'm making is, like, these people, like AOC and them, Danny is awesome. He is. But you know, AOC just got finished screaming defund the police all fucking year. She funds in, well, she didn't vote for it. So I think Richard Medhurst actually brought this up. They take turns on who's going to vote and not vote for bills. So for example, this last fucking this HR 4373 bill where they basically allocated $4 billion that could have been going to funding housing here in America. I think it was Ilhan Omar. So AIPAC literally tried to destroy her career. They just got finished running a smear against her this year, literally 2 months ago, I think. Ilhan Omar, Jamal Bowman's bitch ass Bowman. That's what I'm about. I'm going to be calling him from now on. Bitch ass Bowman. Ro Khanna's used car salesman looking ass, and Pramila Jayapal. All four of them voted for it, and Cori Bush, AOC, and Rashida Tlaib didn't vote for it, which is Rashida Tlaib voted for it. Oh my God, that you're disgusting if you voted for that bill. Oh, Jesus Christ. But still, even with Ilhan Omar, still bad. It's still bad. The fact that a Somali woman can vote, a Somali African woman can in any way tell people to go out and vote for Joe Biden. That's when I lost. So when I was shitting on AOC, I was kind of giving Ilhan a break because Ilhan was I liked Ilhan the most. Because of her talk about empire and going against these Israeli lobby and all that shit. I loved her for that shit. She was, I guess you could say she was my favorite hero in the squad. But exactly. Black and Empire just said it perfectly. He said some vote no, some vote present, or vote for bills. They always make sure it passes by one vote. It revolves depending on the bill. Fucking exactly, bro. Exactly. And that, like I said, fucking Ilhan voted for it. Bitch ass Bowman, Jayapal, and Ro Khanna's used car salesman looking at. Ro Khanna is literally the used salesman of the Progressive Party, of the Progressive Caucus, whatever the fuck they want to call that shit. He always sounds like he's trying to sell you on some bullshit. Because guess what? He is. But I will give him credit. He went on Jimmy's show and faced that fucking music. Jimmy let him have it. Expect fire on that man. But yeah. So that whole thing, they do revolving doors on the continuation of that, and it's insidious as fuck. It's sinister. That's why I call it out. Because like Max Blumenthal said this best. He said, I'm getting tired of Ilhan Omar hijab washing, politics. Like, I don't care about your hijab. I care about what you're voting for. And that's facts. Like that's what this is. The squad is Obama 2.0. They're great deceivers 2.0. And the fact that people can't see through this bullshit is disgusting. And she's going to bring up a tweet. Actually, let me go ahead and pull that John up. Because I think Max had this on his wall as well. I'm going to go ahead and get it queued up. So when she brings it up, we can go ahead and go right into it instead of me taking like 10 minutes to look for it. Which I'm taking the 10 minutes now to look for it. Well, fuck it. That's how we rocking out. Damn, I can't find that junk. I can't find it. Doom, 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 doom. I'm gonna find it. Okay, I'm not gonna find it. All right, I'm gonna do, because she brings it up. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm just gonna type Shorty name in when she brings up this woman's name. But just so we can keep it rocking.
On an imminent issue, people getting kicked out of their homes in the middle of a pandemic. Are we gonna focus on that at all? And what's fascinating is when that short video.
What's fascinating is I can't see that all of this shit connects together. I can't see that empire and imperialism connects to funding for housing in America.
Was released. Everyone was like, oh, look at that. She's so dismissive. But you know, Gray Zone isn't known for providing a lot of context in their video content. I know from firsthand experience.
Hold up. This is like,
they love to take things out of context.
Oh my God. See, for me personally, I've deemed Nomiki, whatever the fuck her name is, Nomiki Kantz, whatever her name is, I've deemed her the projection monster. But Jesus Christ, Anna may have to take that. I may have to take the cake for that. Her and Jenk. Jesus Christ. This, what she says right here is what? Like what?
Rest of these women's political careers? Or are we gonna give them props for what they're trying to accomplish?
We're holding them
now
accountable, but
on an imminent issue, people getting kicked out of their homes in the middle of a pandemic. Are we gonna focus on that at all? And what's fascinating is when that short video was released, everyone was like, oh, look at that. She's so dismissive.
Here we go.
But you know, Gray Zone isn't known for providing a lot of context in their video content. I know from firsthand experience with them.
What? Yeah, his Rokana's wife makes money off of weapons manufacturers, I believe. I was watching Richard Medhurst's live stream, and he said that I have to verify that. Once I verify it, I'll make a video about it. That's amazing, right?
They love to take things out of context.
She was the one that got caught posting a video of Aaron Mate out of context. Let me know if I'm tripping. Okay.
They love to cherry pick little snippets of videos that they've.
That's literally what she got caught doing. There's some people that even said she's instructing people to do this. Like she's sending people this video to edit it. I don't know how true that is. That's what I've heard online. But regardless, you got caught posting the same type of shit that you're talking about. Gray Zone, when they posted about you, they literally posted clips of you at a NATO conference talking to Madeleine Albright. You didn't push back on her on any of that shit. You didn't push back on her or anything. What? And again, these are like, they're okay with blatantly lying. That's what this is.
Produced. They love intimidating people who dare to speak out against them like I'm doing right now.
So is calling you out for fuckery intimidating you? Please let me know. Because I do a lot of intimidation online. I should probably stop intimidating Sam Cedar. Which I don't think, actually I probably would be. I don't know how tall Sam Cedar is, but I am a big guy. I'm a big fat guy. So I'm literally 6'3", and I weigh a lot. I don't want to say my weight on here. I'm self-conscious about my weight. But I'm a big dude. Like if they were to see me, and I'm not saying this like saying I want to intimidate Sam Cedar, but basically what I'm saying is like I'm making a joke. I should stop intimidating Sam Cedar if like holding him accountable for the bullshit that he says You know, maybe I should stop intimidating your boss, Cenk Uygur. You know, I've held him accountable with facts. You know, he just got intimidated for saying that the Castros are still, you know, Cenk Uygur just got intimidated for saying for saying the Castros are still the fucking presidents of Cuba. He just got really intimidated. Oh my God, I feel so bad for him. I feel so bad for Cenk Uygur getting intimidated like that. Oh my God. Shut the fuck up, Anna. Oh my God. Shut up.
But guess what? You're not going to shut me up.
You need to shut yourself up because you sound dumb right now.
Now, there was someone who was also involved in this effort with Cori Bush. She was there the whole time.
So now she goes into my guy, Franco, man. I love Franco's channel. Franco's dope as fuck. Franco was doing amazing work out there. Because there were some moments where I'm like, Jesus, man, those vultures are trying to get him, man. Because when he was called, like, and you're about to see.
Kristen Mink tweeted about the interaction after there was all this backlash toward Cori Bush and how she handled that question from Max Blumenthal. She says, no, I was there and this framing is completely wrong and disingenuous.
That's what her name is, Kristen Mink. So she brings this up. So Jimmy covered this on his show and he said exactly how I felt. Exactly how I felt. Let me find this, John. Oh yeah, these are good tweets. I'm gonna save them to read them later. What is this shit called? Here we go. Where is this at? I'm gonna find it. I wonder if she fucking deleted it. Bitch ass Bowman. Here we go. She says, no, I was there and this framing is completely wrong and disingenuous. Friday night, there was a guy who ID'd himself as from the People's Party. Ilhan Omar chatted with him for a long while and went to follow him on Twitter. There, she found offensive memes about the squad. So I believe from what was said and what I've heard, that was Nick Brana, from what I've heard. And I know you guys have your problems with Nick Brana. Franco actually called Nick. I'm going to do a video about it. Franco called Nick Brana out about some shit, some justified righteous shit that I 100% agree with. Because y'all know some of the first videos I made on this channel was about the People's Party. I was super excited about the People's Party. Then shit started coming out about them, but it was that also mixed with just I don't believe in electoral politics, honestly. As long as you got, you know, these billionaires controlling everything, even if the People's Party didn't have this, you know, the stink surrounded around them and shit like that, you know, with what's going on, even if they didn't have that going on, they're not like going to be allowed to win. And even if they do, like, I can see them winning locally. I'll say that. On a national level, I don't necessarily see them winning. And that's not me trying to I'm not downgrading third parties. I'm not saying, because I'm still for third parties. However, like, as long, like, basically I'm where Fiorella and Convo Couch is at, honestly. After watching their work about the elections and shit like that, that's just where I'm at personally. So, but apparently that was Nick Brana. So she says, she asked him to explain and he launched into a rant about their failures to push Medicare for all. In a long, hours seemed like forever, intimate conversation, the members listened with incredible patience despite the guy's dismissive, disrespectful tone and words. So basically they're trying to pull like the whole Me Too woman card on Nick Brana right now, which is fucking disgusting. This is why nobody takes Me Too seriously anymore. It's sick. Anna Kasparian is one of those reasons why they don't take it seriously as well either. So, Representatives Omar and Cori Bush responded to his questions thoughtfully, detailing dedicated years long in current efforts to push Medicare for all, including local organizing as well as whipping votes, why they're personally invested in this legislation. They also explained why pushing them to get the bill to the floor makes no strategic procedural sense. Just continuing on, like, just with bullshit. But that right there, or which one? The trying to smear Nick Brana with the whole disrespecting women. Oh my God, man! Like, give it a fucking rest already. So that's my issues with that. But again, they're trying to frame, and Anna's right now trying to frame this as if Max Blumenthal is, you know, the person doing this.
Friday night, there was a guy who ID'd himself as from the People's Party. Ilhan, meaning Ilhan Omar, chatted with him for a long while and went to follow him on Twitter. There, she found offensive memes about the squad. So this is a quote tweet.
So again, we already know that up is down, left and left is right with the squad. So I wonder if those offensive memes were memes about people calling them out. I wonder if those were the memes she found offensive. Because the way they're trying to frame offensive is like racist, whatever, that type of offensive. She's not specifying exactly, like, show me the meme. What was the meme? Why didn't Shorty post a meme in that thread? What meme was it? If you were there, what meme was it? You could have went to Nick Brona's page and pulled up the meme that it was. I would like to see. Because I don't believe that it was actually offensive. I believe that it was offensive as far as they were criticizing the squad, and we all know the squad thinks criticizing them is violence. So of course they're going to take that as offensive.
From Max Blumenthal's tweet, where he claims that, well, you can read the tweet for yourself, an intense argument.
Yeah. I read the tweet and watched the video where Cori Bush couldn't answer a fucking question, and her chief of staff had to come whisk her away from a journalist asking her a question. So this also proved that the squad only accepts questions they know, that like pre-selected questions, or they choose people to ask them questions that they know the type of questions they're going to ask.
Broke out last night at the Capitol between an activist and members of the squad on their refusal to directly confront Pelosi. And then he says that he asked Cori Bush about it. Okay. Kristen Mink continues to write.
For me, as a fan, the idea that you only do one more movie, that sucks.
The perfect
But why do you think there's...
The conversational pattern.
Rogan has
Guy
commercials
Lob's
now,
accusatory question, why won't you or didn't you do X, Y, or Z? Members respond with detailed info. Guy Lob's same accusatory question as if nothing was said. It was ridiculous and distracted from the urgent issue we were there for, housing.
Because the reason why this ties together is because exactly how this turned out. The squad declared victory after getting a half measure of a half measure. That is why this ties in. And the fact that you can't see that lets me know that you're either naive or you're a fucking propagandist. I'm willing to go for the latter.
Now, I'm not sure if she's specifically referring to Nick Brana in the first.
She knows that's who they're talking about.
Tweet in this thread, or if she's talking about Max Blumenthal.
She's not talking about Max. She's talking about Nick Brana. Everybody knows that. Anna knows that. She's trying to use this to smear Max Blumenthal, to paint a picture of the video, try and form a picture of basically toxic masculinity around Max Blumenthal that she's about to try and paint with this next video she's going to show.
Tweeted Max Blumenthal, which goes along with the same narratives that Nick Brana, the head of the Movement for a People's Party, has. But
so, like I said, Max talks about the electoral politics and specifically the politicians as far as it pertains to imperialism and empire, which is what he usually mostly covers. Like, he talks about it every now and then on Jimmy's show because Jimmy brings up electoral politics a lot on his show when Max is on there. But Max doesn't go out of his way to talk about the squad. Anya, has talked about AOC. Like, Anya and Danny did a whole video about how AOC was a sellout because it's things that AOC has said and done. So again, I've never even really heard Max talk about the People's Party person. Send me any videos or tweets or anything. I think I've seen him tweet about it, but not Max isn't heavily invested because Max knows how we know what this shit is. These elections are bought and paid for. Max knows what it is. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I'm going to say I think Max knows what it is. So
what's fascinating is if you look at other videos of the several days that this protest was taking place on the Capitol steps, you'll see Max Blumenthal harassing people. Max
Blumenthal harassing Adam Schiff, a guy who's a warmonger, trying to come out and get photo ops with Jesse Jackson. You mean that? Is that what you're talking about right now? Hang on 1 second, guys. I just got a text. It's just so ridiculous that they say oh my God, man. Oh, my bad. I reopened it back up on my phone again. But yeah. confronting Adam Schiff for his warmongering. And what he was trying to tie together is maybe we would have enough money for housing homeless people and keeping people in their homes and from not getting kicked out on the streets if this motherfucker wasn't sending $4 billion to Israel to go bomb some of the poorest people on the face of the fucking earth. This guy was just in favor of bombing Ilhan Omar's home country in Somalia. Jesus, man.
Causing trouble and making it all
Asking questions to politicians.
about him.
He's making it all about him by asking questions about imperialism, housing, and healthcare for people, and Medicare for all. But it's all about him. Wow. Okay. Like a question, like for example, if Max asked her, why don't you guys ever give comments to the gray zone when we ask you questions? Okay, I can kind of see that. But that's not what Max was asking.
Instead of the people who were facing eviction during a global pandemic. Let's watch.
During a global pandemic where Adam Schiff, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, or not Rashida Tlaib, Pramila Jayapal, used car salesman Ro Khanna, and bitch ass Bowman just voted to send $4 billion to Israel.
Watch.
I love that shit. I love that energy, bro. Cause like, so they walked up to Max and were like, "Are you Max Blumenthal who supports the Uyghur genocide?" And there, and Max just went, "I love it, bro. I love it. I love this type of." And this is the type of energy the left needs, bro. This is the type of energy we need. We need leaders like this. This is like when I'm not saying Max is a leader, but this is the type of energy we need from our leaders who are not afraid to confront the establishment narratives. What that kid just lobbed at Max was a fucking a fucking establishment talking point that Max is deep, like that type of energy. I love that type of energy. I know some of y'all might not. That is what I used to think the left was. Honestly, that's what I used to think the left was. People that are willing to obviously verbally, but also like physically fight for what they believe in. I love that energy. So you're not, I mean, to some of your audience, you know, this may be making him look bad. This makes us love him, even like him, and love him even more, and love his work even more. Because those of us that actually read his work and we don't believe the narratives that the government tells us and that politicians tell us, we love his work for that reason.
Congress, you work for the most violent institution on earth.
You work for the most violent institution on earth.
You defend the Chinese genocide. You defend the State Department. You defend the most violent institution on the planet.
There's no genocide.
Yeah, Max Blumenthal's wife and child in the background. She's like urging him to stop because it's so incredibly embarrassing.
No, she's urging him to stop because there's no point in even talking to those people because so he was an aide, I believe, for Adam Schiff. That guy that just asked him a question. He was an aide for Adam Schiff. Or something like that, or a fucking intern, whatever. Because I believe he came with Adam Schiff. You see him in multiple videos where Adam Schiff is there. So either he's an aide for Adam Schiff or he's an aide for somebody there. But somebody put him up to do that, in my opinion. That's how I feel. And Max knew that. He probably saw the person talking to them to put them up to it. Continuing.
And you know, he talks about Congress being the most violent organization. I mean, Max Blumenthal is
so she tries to discredit Max with a slight to who his father is. Let's watch this. This is amazing.
The son of Sid Blumenthal, a longtime Hillary Clinton advisor and aide.
Who in 2016 you breathlessly supported us to told people to go vote for and supported her. And you shitted on anybody, including a person who was working for you at the time, and Jimmy Dore, for doing so, for going against that narrative.
Including when Hillary Clinton was in the US Senate. So I don't know, maybe Max Blumenthal has firsthand experience with just how violent Congress really is.
Which is why he actively speaks against them. Yeah, he did scare that little man. He did. That little man. He said, whoa there, buddy. I wasn't ready for all that. Yo, y'all like to call Max B, bro. He got a little spice in him, bro. He said, man, fuck out of here, dog. But nah, I just found that this is so, like, she's trying to smear him and literally so, and I found it interesting because they tried to come at Jimmy Dore for coming at Emma Vigeland's parents, where you don't see Max Blumenthal basically repeating talking points that his parents would probably repeat. However, Emma Vigeland does, and that's why people call her out for it.
But I do find it questionable that he has now dedicated all of his time to harassing progressive members of Congress, the very people who are literally on our side on the very issues that we care most about, while ignoring the depravity, the cruelty, the viciousness of the Republican Party. I mean, you want to focus on corporate Democrats.
And again, somebody sent laughing emojis. Bro, I'm sorry, dog. I'm hungry as shit right now. I'm sitting here looking at it like, gimme. But nah, let's get back. Let me get to this story, y'all. Y'all keep making me laugh, bro. I know I keep going on tangents and shit. This is why I need to do more live streams, bro. I have fun doing live streams, though. I really do. Talking, smoking and shit, and talking politics. And other shit, too. But let me see. Sorry, guys. I'm checking the stream, making sure everything good. All right, let's get back into this, Johnsky, though.
You want to hold them accountable.
Oh, yeah, that's the... All right, so the point I was going to make with Max Blumenthal, dog, their work, they talked about Donald Trump during the presidency. Literally, one of Aaron Matei, he literally, his whole point about Russiagate was how, you know, weaponizing Russiagate against Trump was making Trump more hawkish towards Russia, which Trump was. Trump was more hawkish towards Russia than Joe Biden. They constantly called out Mike Pompeo. They constantly called out people like, the fuck is his name, the dude? He got the sheepdog mustache. Oh my God. John Bolton. They call out all of these people. Tom Cotton. All of these people. What are you talking about?
Awesome. I just find it super.
So here's her trying to frame this partisan bullshit that nobody gives a fuck about. Like, what are you talking about? So should he not be calling out corporate Democrats? Because he calls out Republicans. He calls them out all the time. Max has literally written a book about Republicans.
Super strange that people like Max Blumenthal, Jimmy Dore are hyper focused on incessantly harassing.
So here we go, trying to frame these hyper excessive, you know, these hyper aggressive white men are attacking these women of color. It's so, oh my God, mysterious. They're probably secret right wingers. Ooh, literally TYT uses the right wing as the boogeyman. Ooh, like dog, like literally if TYT were the bad guys in John Wick would be right wingers. And literally TYT just killed their dog. And now like TYT is afraid John Wick is about to come in and kill them. Baba Yaga. Ooh, Jesus Christ, man.
Progressive members of Congress. And of course, Nick Brana as well, who again is the head for.
Nick Brana has tweeted out support and people criticize Nick Brana for not going. That's one of the reasons I shit on them for, on top of the other issues surrounding the People's Party. But I shit on them because I don't think they go hard enough. They don't go hard enough on the squad and these people. They should not have been tweeting out support for Nina Turner, in my opinion. Sam Cedar was what, FL? Anthony Dodeo, free the baby. Hey, man. I might talk about that. After this story at the end of the stream as like a fun topic, I guess. Real though. I got opinions. I got unpopular opinions about the baby, man. I really do. I really want to talk about my unpopular opinions about the baby. Sam Cedar was in support of yes, he was. So let's continue.
The Movement for a People's Party, that third party venture, which I'll get back to in just a second.
She's going to get back to
now. With that said,
in a second.
There were unfortunately others who have taken part in harassing.
So this is the part where she's going to punch down now. This is where she's going to start punching down, and she's going to start punching down at my guy Franco.
Cori Bush and other progressive lawmakers as they're fighting to ensure that people don't get kicked out.
They're fighting for a half measure of a half measure. We already established that.
For their homes. Here's another example.
Everyone keeps asking, what should we do now? We're going to keep.
So no. If you're not a sycophant and you're watching this live, so this was a live stream, I believe. And they're using his video without permission as well. So that was a big thing. We should tweet at them to tell them to take this video down and remove his footage, but continuing. Now, if you're listening to this stream and you're not a sycophant, and you hear what this guy's saying, and you hear what Franco says, and you go and do a little bit of research, I think you would agree with Franco. But let's see how Anna Kasparian breaks this down.
We're gonna stay here until the rest of the work gets done.
We're not buying the
What's the rest of the work? That's what I would have asked. What's the rest of the work?
theatrics.
So Franco says we're not buying the theatrics. I'm right there with him.
We're not buying the theatrics.
And there was Ryan Grimm's bitch ass too. I'm probably gonna get to that too.
No, I'm not
Facts.
one person, my man, right there. We have 137 people watching. 137 yes. people.
Oh.
Damn.
They were working really hard. I think what they're doing is horrible.
No, that's the chick that came at Max. That's Save the Sea Turtle Samantha, bro. That's the one showing that came at Max. Somebody on Twitter called her Save the Sea Turtle Samantha. I said on Twitter, I said Save the Sea Turtle Samantha is the new Karen, bro. Jesus Christ. I think what they're really doing is admirable. She reminds me of the white girl. I don't know if y'all seen Spike Lee's Malcolm X movie. I wanted to play a clip on it in the video I did yesterday. The Max Blumenthal video. I wanted to do a video. I wanted to play it on the stream, but I didn't want to, or I wanted to play it in that video. I would play it now on the stream, but I don't know if they're going to take the, I don't know if they're going to take it down because of that, but it's a scene in Malcolm X where Malcolm X is walking to do a speech at a university, and he got the NOI, he got the niggas around him. He got the niggas around him. They walking as a unit. Malcolm walking with the briefcase, looking around and shit. These niggas looking, was good. But yeah, they walking up and shit. This little skinny ass white girl walking to him. She wearing the Black Panther hat. I forget what that shit. The Black Panther beret and shit. She got the leather jacket on, the black jeans. She's like, "Oh my God, Malcolm, I really love your message. It's very good. Your fight for black people is so good." And look, I'm not saying this to say that white people can't fight for black issues if they want to. I'm not one of those types of people, you know. I don't care if you're with my cause, you're with my cause. But I thought this shit is so telling because you got to be wary. But you do got to be wary of that shit, though. I'm not saying don't be wary, but still continuing. That's a whole nother conversation for another day. But she's like, "Oh my God, is there anything I can do to help your cause?" And Malcolm X looked her dead in her face and was like, "No." And walked inside, bro. Walked right past this bitch. Yo, the NOI niggas is looking at her like, "Shh, bitch, fuck out of here." Yo, but that's this person right here. This is the white liberal that Malcolm X was talking about and Martin Luther King was talking about. Fred, this is that right there. This is that. And these are all liberals. These are all people that, these are sheeple that don't know what's going on. They're out there for a good cause, I'm sure. They definitely are out there for good, except for that guy. So it's going to be interesting. I'm going to get to that guy. But this right here, Save the Sea Turtle Samantha right there, no, that ain't it. That ain't it, B.
What do you mean, what was I doing?
His YouTube channel is telling people that what they're doing right now is bullshit. So is mine. And that what they're doing is a half measure of a half measure. That is what we're telling you right now. You're sitting on your steps, wasting your time, literally. Because people are still going to get kicked out of their fucking houses. Because they're not pushing for cancellation. So they've literally watered down. So like Max said, we were out here at the start of the pandemic. Protesting for cancellation. The squad puts this together for a half measured moratorium. They've literally watered down the protest now.
Informing people.
Great organizers, guys.
I shouldn't inform people.
So they said this guy is from Redacted Tonight, and the Redacted Tonight Instagram or Twitter liked one of this guy's tweets. So I don't know if that was Lee Camp. Lee Camp, you got some explaining to do, bro. In my opinion, I fuck with Lee. But if you think this bullshit is okay, bro, I don't know what you're doing, dog. I don't know why. Like, you can go to the, I'm not saying don't go to the protest. I just couldn't go because my broke ass couldn't afford to go right now. I live in Delaware. The shit was in D.C. I would have been there doing the same shit Franco's doing right now. I just couldn't afford to get there right now. But I'm not criticizing the people. Like, I'm not saying those people shouldn't be there. What I'm saying is you should be talking to AOC and telling her, hey, we need to be pushing for cancellation. You need to be calling out Joe Biden by name. You need to be calling out Nancy Pelosi by name. You shouldn't have. And I would be saying, why did y'all vote? Why didn't you tell the 5 squad members, the 5 progressive members that voted for that bill, or 4 or 5, whatever it is? Why didn't you tell them not to vote for that bill and put that bill on hold until they pass rent cancellation, a bill for rent cancellation? These are the questions you need to be asking them.
How am I trolling? Because you're asking irrelevant questions. How is it?
He's asking irrelevant questions, like, what are we going to do about, the people that are going to get evicted? What about the people that don't live in these targeted areas?
Irrelevant that they're using money. How is it irrelevant that they're using money for wars when they could be giving money to the homeless?
No, they didn't. The ones out there did. AOC and Cori Bush did. But the problem, Ilhan Omar didn't. She was out there the night before. Ilhan Omar voted for that bill. But you don't see how this is connected? You don't see how they're playing musical chairs for who votes on what shitty bill?
They voted for it. No, they voted to increase the budget for Israel. No, they voted against it. How much? You don't even know what you're talking about. I know what I'm talking about. Research before you go out. They used the.
See, the only thing I would have done differently here, I would have put the camera down and been like, bro, let's go talk. Let's go talk. All of y'all that disagree with me, let's go talk. And I'll sauce all the fuckload of y'all right now off camera. Yeah, I'm talking about Ilhan Omar. She did. She was the one that voted for it. So this time around for HR 4373, I'd recommend watching Richard Medhurst's video about it and reading the bill yourself. They voted to give money to Israel. That's what they did. But they play musical chairs. But me, I would have pulled a like when Kanye was screaming at Sway back in the day. He said, "You ain't got the answer, Sway." Sway was like, "Nigga, we can turn the cameras off right now and go talk off camera, nigga. Calm the fuck down, bro." I would have said exactly that shit to him, bro. Let's go talk. Let's go talk off camera over here. All of y'all that disagree with me, let's go talk over here. And then we're gonna come back once I sauce the fuck out of y'all, and we're gonna get this shit on camera how they full of shit. That's the only difference I would have been. But that's how me personally, like, I would have gave it up. But Franco still, I'm not criticizing Franco at all. Franco did an amazing fucking job here.
They increased the budget for Israel in apartheid state. At home. They increased
Richard's
the budget
amazing.
for
I love
apartheid
Richard.
state. No idea what you're talking about. I know more than you. I know more than you. It's not a contest. Go home and
It's not about a contest. It's about the fact you guys are out there coddling their balls. And he's out there holding them accountable for bullshit that they're pushing, the theatrics they're doing right now.
Contest. Then do your YouTube channel at home. You didn't do any research.
Nearly every portrayal of an alien in Hollywood.
And it's crazy. They try to be like, oh, do your YouTube channel. Also, you're fucking boss, Lee Camp or whoever. You exist on YouTube yourself. What are you talking right now, you dumb fuck?
And of course they did no research. Going after progressive lawmakers like Cori Bush.
Yeah, Frank was amazing.
For
Frank analysis.
voting for more war.
Yeah, they voted to give $4 billion to Israel, Anna. You didn't do your fucking research before going on here punching down at an independent citizen journalist.
There's no evidence of that. You look at Cori Bush's record, and it's the opposite of what that clown boy was alleging in that video. And I also find it fascinating that they're accusing.
I just went Black Mama. I said, You know how when you at the barbecue, when you do something bad, your mama eating. I just did that shit. Exactly. That's all. That's where Anna literally tried to debunk Aaron Mattei with Bellingcat. That's all you need to know about Anna Kasparian, though. That's all you need to know about Katz and Karen Anna.
Cori Bush of doing nothing, essentially. It's just political.
Ilhan Omar, like I said, Ilhan Omar, bitch ass Bowman, Pramila Jayapal, and used car salesman Ro Khanna voted for that bill.
Theater, when in reality,
because, and you know why? Like somebody pointed out in the group chat. I think it was you, Helen, that pointed it out. I think it was you. The fact that Ro Khanna's wife has a lot of money in stocks. A lot of the stocks she has money in is weapons manufacturing. What does this bill guarantee? This bill guarantees that $4 billion that Israel gets is going to go right back to the arms industry, which is going to pump those stocks up. And who's going to see the return from that? Ro Khanna and his fucking wife. Eat a dick, Anna.
The whole force the vote movement was about political theater.
It was about political. That's the political theater that matters. And they were pushing for Medicare for all. They weren't saying we need to force the vote on a public option. We need to force the vote on PAYGO. We need to force the vote on the Affordable Care Act. They said we need to force the vote on Medicare for all and nothing less. Cori Bush is protesting for a half measure of a half measure. So she would be wasting her time if she wasn't getting reciprocated with clout with this. If she wasn't sending people text messages and emails to donate to her. That's her return for it. The people on those steps that aren't aides and fucking that aren't assistants and shit like that that aren't tied to them, they're wasting their time. They're just there to say later on in there, when they get their fucking corporatist jobs, working for like fucking, Amazon or some fucking tech company or some shit. And the rest of us plebs have to live without health care so they can look back and say, yeah, I went to this protest for the poor, Black Lives Matter. That's what they're there for.
I mean, that was part of the argument. No, we know that it's not going to pass. We know that they'll hold the floor vote. We know that they won't pass it. But it's important to understand which Democratic lawmakers are not in favor of Medicare for all, which is something we already know. But B, once they vote it down, we'll cause a spectacle. We'll cause a spectacle, everyone, because left-wing media is so powerful.
Yeah, we're going to cause a spectacle for Medicare for all. Not an eviction moratorium that's still going to lead to a lot of people getting kicked out of their fucking homes. Jesus fucking Christ, man. These people, they have no type of fight in them. All they know is follow favorite politician, rub their balls like a fucking magic lamp. They think a genie's going to come out of that fucking, what a genie is, their fucking analytics, their numbers. That's all they care about. This is why they're huge fucking projectors. They talk about people being grifters. Jimmy spent a whole year telling people to keep their fucking money. Wasn't doing any road shows. If you know anything about comedians, Jimmy's a comedian. He makes money off of being on the road. He couldn't be on the road, telling people not to subscribe to him. Keep your fucking money. Go donate it to a mutual aid or some shit. Jesus, man, fuck. And then somebody like Franco, you're punching down at Franco? You're taking your time out. You're taking the time out of your day to punch down at Franco when you have Keith Olbermann trying to get fucking Jimmy canceled, trying to get him kicked off of Facebook and YouTube. But you want that. That's what you want that to happen. So that's fine. But this is who these people are. She's taking the time to punch down right now. She's punching down to the left.
That will cause a spectacle over a failed Medicare for all floor vote, and then we'll somehow magically get our way. So that would have been theater that would have failed. But the theater that Cori Bush engaged in worked because it was strategic and it was.
It got half measures of a half measure. She got squat. As Ari just said, let me go back to this. I gotta play it again. Apparently, I gotta play it again for Anna Kasparian in the fucking back of the class. I'll play it again.
Extension is still nothing because at the end of the day, people are still going to be in debt. People are still going to be unemployed. The Delta variant is still ravaging. It's still happening. You know what I'm saying? People are still gonna die. This is going to become a public health crisis because unhoused people is going to lead to a rise in crime because crime is a socioeconomic problem.
And we all know Anna Kasparian cares about crime amongst homeless people because here she is. Here, Max Blumenthal. Here we go. We already know how Anna Kasparian feels about homeless people.
Progressives in places like California who have made terrible decisions. And so one of those terrible decisions is essentially doing away with anti-camping laws, right? Allowing people to camp out wherever they want, whenever they want. And if, like, we have a homeless problem in California. We have it all throughout the country, but it's particularly bad in California. And so the argument is, well, if there isn't public housing available for people, they should be allowed to camp out. Okay, but there's also a problem right now where there is public housing available and individuals will say, no, I don't want to take it. I don't want to follow the rules in the public housing. So as a result, I would rather camp out. Progressive lawmakers are like, we should allow.
Helen, I think the The girl I played, I think she's on Fred Hampton Leftist, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna do some more research on her to figure out, but I'll fuck with what she's been saying.
Allow them to camp out. And you know what happens? Crime happens. Open air drug markets happen, and it's the truth. These are the facts of the matter. In fact, it was addressed in this Daily Beast article, and honestly, it was cathartic to read it because everyone denies that this is happening. I do.
So we know how Anna Kasparian feels about homeless people. But I actually think I was playing the wrong.
And people need to survive.
Hang on.
So what the hell?
There we go.
To start the conversation at financial aid. People needed checks. That's where we need to start the conversation. Y'all started.
Afeni. I kept calling her Ari. I'm sorry, Afeni.
This state money that they have to give the states for rent assistance. But even then, it's like that does not cover everybody that's already been evicted, because 80,000 evictions were filed in Atlanta alone. 80,000 evictions were filed in Atlanta alone. And guess what? Atlanta is not one of the places that gets covered by the eviction moratorium. So what the hell?
What the hell? She's completely right. Anna, what the hell? Jesus, man.
Smart. What she did materially benefited people's lives. Yes, we need more. There's no question about that. But buying people time.
So Atlanta doesn't get covered because specifically of the way they're doing the targeted the targeted moratorium. So basically the targeted moratorium is literally targeting like extremely like high COVID places with high fucking numbers. And that's basically what Afeni's saying right there. So you have to have like extremely high numbers. That's what I've read. Or, you know, I've read and heard her say that, and I've read different people say that.
Giving states 2 months to ensure that they pass out the $46 billion in rental relief so people are able to stay in their homes indefinitely, that's important. That's incredibly important. It certainly goes a lot further in improving people's lives than anything that the Movement for the People's Party has been.
Jimmy Dore, Max Blumenthal, specifically Max Blumenthal, has exposed so many war crimes the United States has done. His collaborations with Aaron Matei on the fucking on the Russiagate stories, on the Syria stories, him exposing basically the United Kingdom government were the ones like were in bed with like Reuters and shit like that to spread all of the propaganda around Syria, and how truly in bed these media companies are with Western intelligence communities. So she's trying to smear Max. She's trying to delegitimize Max, and that's what this is.
And they have the audacity to go over there and harass people
and ask them questions as journalists. Again, she's getting mad at people for doing journalism. That's what she's mad at people for right now.
As they're fighting for something, as they're showing up and
as they're fighting for a half measure of a half measure,
doing the work. I mean, it's just so pathetic and so shameful.
It is for the squad. It is.
But look, these little stunts, these PR stunts, tend to happen quite often. Superficial PR stunts, writes the Washington Babylon, are par for the course for the MPP, Movement for the People's Party. From the very beginning, Nick Brana misled members of Draft Bernie for People's Party and exploited their hopes that Sanders would lead a third party, even though the Vermont senator himself explicitly rejected that idea.
And again, the whole thing has been about why wouldn't Bernie run as a third party candidate? Bernie's already an independent.
In a February 12, 2017 appearance on Meet the Press. So they lie to their own supporters about who's actually on board, which is a little problematic. I would also find it problematic.
Didn't the Young Turks say they were going to do like a debate between progressives, and they collected like $100,000 and they ended up not doing the debate, kind of like you guys did? Because you guys knew that people weren't going to show up. Because if they showed up, they would have been disqualified from the actual debates.
If I happen to be a member of Congress, a US state senator, and a third party is alleging that I support them when I might support them, but I'm certainly not joining them. I'm not leaving the Democratic Party to be part of
Yeah, because Bernie never joins the plebs.
a third party.
Bernie never joins the poors.
Before you
great.
scroll
Now we got
away,
Chuck Schumer here.
Democratic
Honestly, y'all,
headquarters
I feel
urging
like
agencies
I've done enough on this video. This shit is it's infuriating to watch. It's really infuriating. So again, this is an article that I found online. This is from the Columbus Dispatch. I don't know why I just hit that. My bad. So this is from the Columbus Dispatch. And I found this article very interesting. So again, Franklin County will not comply. So this is, let me see what state this is in. Because I literally, like, when I was getting the stream set up, I saw this and I pulled it up. I was like, I want to read it. Let's get into it. Franklin County will not comply with latest eviction moratorium, judge announces. This is from the Columbus Dispatch. Franklin County Municipal Court Administrative and Presiding Judge Ted Barrows announced Thursday that based on appeals court decision last month, the court is not bound by the CDC and prevention's latest eviction moratorium. Evictions cases then will continue to be processed as usual, according to a court news release. Good job, Corey. On July 23rd, the 6th Court Circuit of Appeals ruled that the CDC overstepped its bounds when it issued a moratorium last year to curb the spread of the COVID-19 virus. Based on that ruling, the Franklin County Court release said courts in Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio, and Michigan are no longer bound by the latest moratorium the CDC imposed on Tuesday. Franklin County is not alone on this issue. Wednesday, Toledo Housing Court Judge Joseph Howe told the Toledo Blade that his court would abide by the appeals court decision and not honor the moratorium either. On Thursday, the Hamilton County Municipal Court followed suit, with judges voting to not comply with the moratorium. In an interview with the Dispatch, Barrows downplayed the effect of ignoring the moratorium. He said landlords whose tenants had filed for a stay of eviction proceedings under the moratorium cannot immediately evict those tenants. Instead, landlords will have to file a motion to lift the stay and state what further proceedings they feel are appropriate. So again, man, that's again, yo. And they want us to sit here and pipe down and worship Cori Bush for what she's doing right now. Here's another article. I want to read it, but I think I'm about to hop off soon, guys, because my phone's about to go dead, and I run my Wi-Fi through my phone. It's insane. So back. So yeah, guys, this shit is wild. Like the fact that Franco and Max and all these people that were out there are catching heat, because I'm not going to defend Nick Bronner like that, because Franco tried to ask questions of Nick Bronner. Nick Bronner like didn't want to answer those questions. Nick Bronner went full AOC on Franco. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not rocking with the People's Party like that either. But the fact that you got all these people out here asking you legit questions about shit, and you guys can't answer those questions, so you resort to bullshit smears like this, is very telling of you guys. It's very telling. You're proving everything we've said about you guys to be correct. That you guys aren't actually doing what you should be doing. You're bending a knee to the party, and you're misleading people. You're misinforming people. And they know this. Shit is wild, man. Shit is really wild. So with that being said, yo, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream there because I'm trying to finish this food for real. I'm so hungry. And yeah, I'm probably gonna take this down for a while. Like I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm probably gonna eat and then put it back up. So because I don't know how YouTube works. I don't know if it takes it down. Like I said, I haven't done a stream like a long time. So But yeah, y'all, I might do this again tomorrow. I'll be more organized and have some pre-prepared stories because the stream, it went pretty good this time. It went well. So might be on here. I might be on here again tomorrow to do a live stream and do like live, cover stories, live and shit like that. So with that being said, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and bid you a fair due. FL, peace, bro. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Again, I appreciate y'all tuning in, bro. I love all the support y'all been giving me, all the engagement on, in the comments. I love that shit, y'all. I love that shit.